Most people think they're bad at using AI, but the truth is they're just bad at giving instructions. You don't believe me? Watch this. Now, this is how most people use AI. And if you look at the response, it looks okay, but it's boring, generic, and sounds like every other thing an AI generates on the internet. Now, watch what happens when we change how we talk to the AI. Now, I'm going to give the AI what you should act as, what the message is for, what outcome I want, and exactly what the result should look like.
Now you have added the role, the context, the task I want you to carry out, the goals, the format I want the response in, and also the style. And voila, we have a much more personalized email that's in the exact style and tone of voice I want in. None of that generic bullshit.
Here's the part nobody explains. AI is not a search engine. It's more like an extremely skilled assistant that only performs as good as your instructions. And most people never learn to give those instructions. So in the next couple of minutes, I'll be showing the exact framework from Google's 9 hours prompting essential course that turns beginners into power users. So instead of hoping AI gives something good, you can predict the results before you even press enter. So we'll be starting with the framework structure suggested by the good developer team and how to get the best output from these large language models, which are actually, the task, context, references, evaluate, and iterate. Now, to actually, have a very good understanding of this, let's use a scenario. So let's say my month birthday was coming up. Now, a beginner or someone that is not, good at writing prompts will give a prompt like this. However, a power user will write a task like this. So the task has two extra components that enables you get a much better output from this AI. Now, the first is the role. This is you telling the AI who it should be and how it should actually act so that the AI's response is grounded and much more personalized. And next is the format. This is you specifying how you want the response to be. So let's say you want a list of items, you actually give that AI instruction. Okay, see, generate your response as a list of items. Do you want it as a table, as a markdown, as a JSON? Just specify to the AI so the AI knows how it should give you the response back. So that will look like something like this. And now you can see that we have a list of items given to us in bullet points just as we have requested. So now we've given the AI a role, that's the persona I wanted to assume, the task, which is the actual instruction we wanted to carry out, and the format, how we want our response. But like I said, this can be pushed even further, but we still have to do three other things. Add context, provide references, evaluate the response, and then iterate based on the evaluation. Let's see what that looks like. So this is a much more refined prompt. Here we have our role, and then we have the task. We've added a bit of context here. This is our format, and now you can see a bit of references. Now, references is also called short prompting. I've added a bit of examples of what she actually liked when I gifted her those things previously, which include a trip to Paris and designer handbags. So those are good examples for the model to actually follow. However, I've also actually introduced examples of gift that she didn't appreciate so that the AI doesn't suggest gifts in that line. So now we can see we added a role, we've added task, we've added the format we want our response in, context and references. And now if I execute that, you see that I'm going to have a much more personalized answer that is tailored to what my mom would actually appreciate. Now, the next step to actually evaluate the AI's response. Do I like what I'm saying? Is there any part I actually want to refine or improve upon? If there are, I then go back and actually, tell the AI, add this or subtract this. Because prompting is not a one-time thing. There's always the need to actually refine the output or refine the AI to actually give you, a much better result. And that is actually the process of iteration. So we have, where we evaluate the response and we iterate. If we like that, yeah, that is fine. But if we don't, we further reiterate. So now that we've learned the basic framework in writing really effective prompts, we also now know that we don't just leave AI to do its thing. It's still upon us to actually evaluate the AI response and then iterate. So what are some of the iteration methods or how do we go about it? The first thing to do is to revisit the framework to see what you missed out on. So you know include the rule, we're not clear on instructions, could you have added a bit more context or provide examples for the AI to actually know what is good or bad? Now, if that does still not work, probably try the next thing. Now, the second method is to separate instructions into shorter sentences to avoid overwhelming the model. So instead of providing a very long block of instructions on the comprehensive social media marketing strategy to target Gen Z consumers or TikTok and Instagram, you can break that down into something simple and short like this. Create a strategy for Q1 product launch, target Gen Z consumers on TikTok and Instagram, include a budget breakdown for ad spend, add specific KPIs for engagement and conversion, and use a professional but high energy tone. If you provide a massive paragraph of instructions at once, the model can struggle to prioritize various elements. By using shorter sentences, you create a clearer structure that leads to significantly better and more organized output. Now, the third method is make use of analogous tasks, which are something different but related to the actual instruction you gave the AI model. So instead of saying write a business proposal, which is formal, cautious, structured, and corporate, you say make a persuasive argument. This is much more convincing, emotional, with clear benefits. It's the same objective but different framing and different output quality. Another example, instead of saying create educational content, you can say teach this like a mentor guiding a beginner. Or instead of write marketing copy, you say write this like a short sales pitch. And the core idea here is that you're not changing what the AI should do. You are changing what role example you believe it is performing, and that ultimately reshapes the output automatically. This is one of the fastest ways to improve results without making prompts longer. Another method is to introduce constraints, which actually makes AI generate better, more focused, and often more original output because it can't go generic or be broad. It has to work inside the box that you create. So instead of saying write a birthday card message for my mom, which could be generic, long, or bland, introduce constraints by saying write a 3-line birthday card message for my mom that's funny, use a pun about gardening, and ends with love. Now the AI has to stick to 3 lines, be funny, include a gardening pun, and end with love. This forces creativity and gives you a very specific high quality result instead of a vague or generic message. Beyond text, another technique is multimodal prompting, where AI not only processes text but also images, audios, and videos natively. So we are replacing vague text descriptions with high fidelity audio references. So say you're a musician working on a piece, you can actually upload the audio file and then tell the AI to actually describe the mood of the piece, then suggest 5 alternative directions you could take the arrangement to. But we still need to address the elephant in the room because even the best models today still suffer from two major structural flaws, which are hallucinations and bias. First, these models can be confident liars. Google calls it hallucinating, where the model provides authoritative answers that are completely false. Then there's bias. Since these models learn from the open internet, they absorb human prejudices. Gender bias, racial stereotypes, cultural assumptions are often embedded in the training data. Google's solution to this is a concept called human in the loop. You are the safety net, you are responsible for the final output. Don't trust the AI blindly. Verify the claims and question every assumption. Once you have that mindset logged in, you can start applying the tools to actual work. So let's talk about some advanced prompting techniques. The first one is prompt chaining. This simply means using the output of one prompt as the input for the next. You build complexity layer by layer. So let's say you want to generate an action plan for AI automation ideas for small businesses. The very first prompt will be something like generate 5 business ideas related to AI automation for small businesses. And then the next prompt will be from the ideas you generated, choose the most practical one for a beginner to start. Then the third prompt will be create a simple 3-step action plan to launch that idea within 30 days. So in prompt chaining, we are seeing that each step builds on the previous one. Instead of trying to cram a massive project into a simple request, we are guiding the AI through a logical sequence. So let's level up again. Sometimes you don't just need the sequence of steps, you need deep logic. And that is where chain of thought prompting comes in. An example prompt is you're helping me decide between 3 different pricing models for my app. Walk me through your reasoning for each option. Consider user psychology, revenue sustainability, and competitor pricing. The AI doesn't just recommend the model, it explains the why behind every choice. You can then guide it further if the reasoning model is off. Now, another thing to consider is the use of a prompt library. AI powered users don't write prompts from scratch every single time. So whenever you use a prompt that was perfectly for you, you can save it in databases like Google Sheets, Google Docs, or even Notion. And whenever you need to use that kind of a prompt again, you simply copy it and probably revise some parameters there, and then you're good to go. So that's it. In this video, we've covered some frameworks that takes you from a beginner AI user to a power user. Things like the tags, which further includes the role and the format. We also have context, references, evaluate, and iterate. We've also covered some iteration methods, advanced prompting techniques, and the use of a prompt library. Now you have everything you need to use AI like the super intelligence it is, and I hope you go on to do very amazing things with it. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Till next time, bye.